Hi everybody, so I'm going to start working on this mock exam that we did, and we'll get it done little by little. So I thought Anais had a really good idea. She said, why don't I try to do each problem within 2 minutes to show you guys like how fast you have to work in order to get this done. Now there are some questions you'll do in less than 2 minutes, then you can use that extra time, for like 3 or 4, to have 3 or 4 minutes for a longer problem. Okay, so here's number one, and number one is pretty easy. This is a chain rule. Bring down the 7. Keep the inside. 7 becomes 6. Derivative of the inside is that. That's not a choice because you need to combine those, so you're going to get this. And that was the answer, and that was choice D. So I think that was maybe 30 seconds. Okay, here's number 2. This is actually U substitution. So U is going to be 3x plus 12. That means du is 3dx. We don't have a 3dx, so we need to get rid of that 3. So we'll divide both sides by 3. And now we're going to go in and substitute. So we're going to rewrite it, and we're going to take out this dx, taking out that dx, and we're going to change it to 1/3 du. This leaves me with a 1 on top, and on the bottom a 3x plus 12, but 3x plus 12 is u. The antiderivative of 1 over u is just ln u plus c. And u is equal to 3x plus 12, so we get 1/3 ln of 3x plus 12 plus c. And that does not match any of our answers. So you just have to be creative because they're being annoying. So this is what you have to do. Would you be able to do this within the 2 minutes? I don't know. I'm sorry, Anais. I'm going over my time. I'm going to start this whole thing over to show you what you have to do. And it's annoying, and it annoyed me as well. Okay, so what you have to do is this. Okay, so you have to factor out that 3. I mean, if you guys found another way to do this, let me know. Then pull out the 1/3. And now this is just equal to ln of x plus 4 plus c, and that was choice B. Okay, you don't need to use substitution because it's just plain old x. There's no coefficient or any nonsense like that. Okay. Okay, so number 3, this is going to require a quotient rule. The bottom times the derivative of the top minus the top times the derivative of the bottom all over the bottom squared. Of course, this is not a choice, so we're going to have to simplify a bit. So we'll distribute this -1. And picture that this 3x squared is over here. So a negative 3x squared times 5 is going to give you a negative 15x squared. And a negative 3x squared minus x will give you a positive 3x cubed. Same denominator. Okay, still not an answer, so we're going to simplify. And I should not have to use my 2-minute time on Anais to erase. That's not fair. Okay, so we have a negative x cubed and a positive 3x cubed. So that gives us 2x cubed minus this, same denominator, and that is choice C. Okay, for number 4, it's actually asking about velocity, but it doesn't matter. You should be able to do this one anyway, even though we haven't done velocity yet. The important part is that we're doing a trapezoidal sum with 3 intervals dictated by the table. So our first interval is going to be 0 to 0.5. The next one will be 0.5 to 2, and the next one will be from 2 to 3. Okay, so for a trapezoid, it's going to be 1/2 base 1 plus base 2 times the height. So we have to do that 3 times. Okay, so I'm going to do the height first because I just think it's easier. So to go from 0 to 0.5, that's 1/2. To go from 0.5 to 2, that's going to be 1.5, which is the same thing as 3/2. And to go from 2 to 3, it's 1. Those are my heights. Okay, so what's my y value when x is 0? I look at the table and I get 20. And for 0.5, I get 60. So remember, for the trapezoids, you're just going to carry that 60 down. This one's going to be 40, 40, and 30. Okay, so we're going to get 1/4 of 80, which is 20. 3/4 of 100, which is 75. And 1/2 of 70, which is 35. You're going to add these three together, and you're going to get 130, which is B. Okay, here's number 5. So we need to find the derivative at a certain value, but first we need the derivative. Okay, so the derivative of sine of something is cosine of that something times the derivative of the something. And now we're asked to find f prime of radical 2 pi. So wherever there's an x, we're going to put a radical 2 pi. Okay? And if you look at all the answers, they're beautiful, nice, short answers. So obviously this cannot possibly be the answer. So let's simplify. So we're going to get a cosine of. So when you square a square root, you're just left with what's inside. Okay. And 2 pi plus 1 pi is 3 pi. Okay, and now you need to figure out what is cosine of 3 pi. So I'm going to come back to the screen in a minute, but we're going to need our unit circle. So cosine of 3 pi. So remember, pi is equal to 180 degrees. So we start here. So let me get another color. Okay, we start here. That's 1 pi from there to there. Then we do another pi. That's 2 pi. And now we're going to go around one more time, and so this is 3 pi over here. This is the point -1, 0, cosine, and sine. So we were supposed to find cosine of 3 pi. So cosine of 3 pi is -1. Okay, I'm going to go back. So cosine of 3 pi is, -1. Still times 2 times radical 2 pi. And I'm just going to make a little bit of room up here. So -1 times 2 is -2, and you still have the radical 2 pi, and that was choice A. Okay, so it is now 8.5 minutes, so 8.5 minutes for 5 problems I completed. So I used less than my 2 minutes. So that gives me an extra 1.5 minutes to add somewhere else. So you can see it's going to be pretty tight. All right, so I hope those first 5 helped you. More to come.